Well, it was inspired certainly by John Bishop, and that was the kicking off point for us. And we love the idea of this guy who is in this place in his life and in this relationship that is at a certain precarious point where it's falling apart, and potentially seeing from Alex's perspective how comedy was able to kind of have a redemptive quality on there and help them heal or help them grow back towards each other and understand more about themselves, himself and each other. And I think that for us, it just seemed like a really good place to sort of build around this story. And it was something I thought about and I brought to Bradley, and Bradley's like really pushed us, and he wanted to like really understand what this relationship was. And it was really about these two people coming together and figuring out a way to communicate with each other again. Alex as a person, I think that Alex is a guy who's just been kind of all of a sudden finds himself stuck in neutral. And I think that when you're in that place, you don't necessarily know it.
He gets hit. The movie starts. He gets hit in the head with a 2x4, and then all of a sudden he finds himself on a stage with a bunch of people, and so he's sort of, I think it's like you're so numb, and then that sort of gets you out of it. So first he gets hit, and then he's like, that's what we kind of loved structurally about it. Starting it, bam, with a decision, and then all of a sudden it's like the light comes on, and now what do you have to say?
I just numb myself out for 50 years. No, I mean, we just talked a lot and tried to stay sensitive to the material and tried
did a lot of work. He did so much prep. Yeah. I mean, this was like, to see your friend be that focused and that dedicated to inhabiting another person was really inspiring for me, because he gave everything of himself. It was really, that actually came out of trying to insert our own friendship, and that we wouldn't have to act our, 2.5 decade friendship by casting another actor that maybe wasn't one of his dear friends. So we knew we had that already built into this dynamic and our rhythms and everything. And then Babal's functions as the fool, that has the wisdom, and the comedic relief, but then in the end provides that nugget that then allows him to make that change. So structurally, in terms of story, that's what his function is. But in terms of me playing it, it was really just because of us. That's where it came. We talked about it a lot, and actually he was the one who was like, "No, what are you, crazy? Like, why wouldn't we do this?"
Yeah, and it made so much sense.
Yeah.
And of course, it bore fruit instantly.
Yes,
for us.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they'll relate to it. We explore a lot of themes about personal development, relationships, how we define ourselves through our relationship, or how we perceive our friends or fellow humans on Earth. And I think, like, grace. Am I crazy? Mm-hmm. I think, like, if there's one word, it's like, maybe I give myself a little bit more grace in life. And and that's a word that we bat around with purposefully in the movie. Because it is a bit of low-hanging fruit, and you can kind of make fun of it. But in the end, we land as storytellers of this movie like, no, we're like 100% behind Grace. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think that there are a lot of universal themes in this, and certainly Grace is something. And I think that we do it a good job, and Bradley really wanted to hit it and make a point of it, and then hit it again, and then get back to the point where we really embrace it. And the Kieran Hines' character of Jan says it so well when Alex says to him, he uses the word grace, and he says, and Alex says mom, and he goes, yeah,
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it may seem like just a word, but that is something that we should consider. And I think that is true. I think that we have to, in a lot of ways, to sort of boil it down, is give the people we love and ourselves a break. It's okay. We have to allow ourselves the room to breathe and to be who we are, and give ourselves the grace to be and to feel. And it's only when we do that
we can start to communicate.
That's right.
Yeah.